A great white shark washes ashore. No wounds, no signs of struggle, just a gaping hole where its liver used to be. The only prior evidence that orcas hunt great white sharks comes from South Africa, where they have been preying on the sharks for years and extracting their livers, leaving shark carcasses to wash up on the beach. For a long time, scientists thought it was isolated, a regional anomaly, a quirk of two notorious South African orcas and their particular killing ground. They were wrong, because in the Gulf of California, something older and stranger had already been happening, and at the center of it was one animal, a male orca first spotted in 1992, nicknamed for the Aztec emperor, around 8 meters long, approximately 50 years old. His name is Moctezuma, and what he has learned to do should not be possible. Picture the Gulf of California in August. The water is warm and green. A juvenile great white shark, maybe 2 meters long, born into waters it barely knows, is cruising close to the surface near La Paz. It has never encountered an orca. It doesn't know what one smells like. It doesn't know what one does. It is about to find out. 5 female orcas from Moctezuma's pod pursue the young great white shark until it tires, push it to the surface, and turn it onto its back. What happens next is the part that stops marine biologists mid-sentence. Turning a shark upside down induces a state called tonic immobility by changing the shark's awareness of its surroundings in a way that paralyzes it. The shark does not fight. It does not flee. It goes still, completely, utterly still, in the open water, surrounded by predators. The orcas force the shark underwater, and when they reappear, they are holding its liver in their mouths. They pass the meal to each other, sharing the prize of their successful hunt. Then, barely pausing, they go for seconds, chasing and gutting a second young great white. 2 kills, 1 session, 30 minutes, and the rest of both carcasses, left to sink. This is not random predation, this is surgical, and it raises a question that scientists are still circling. How does an animal learn to do this? The liver of the great white shark is a remarkable organ constituting a significant portion of its body weight, up to 28% of its total mass. This enormous liver serves multiple functions, with one of the most notable being buoyancy control. The liver's high oil content, specifically squalene, provides the shark with the ability to control its depth in the water. It is, in other words, a battery, a dense, oil-rich, calorie-packed battery that keeps the shark alive and moving. The orcas focus on the shark's livers, which constitute a quarter of a shark's body, and provide high concentrations of vitamins A and D, demonstrates the animal's intelligence and dietary efficiency. It's the only thing that's really worth it for their time, one marine ecologist put it. They are not eating the shark, they are mining it. Sharks' livers are large and buoyant, and they float to the surface of the water when a shark is killed. This makes them easy for orcas to spot and access, compared to other organs that may sink to the bottom or be harder to locate. The orcas don't need to dig, they just need to open the right door, and they have learned exactly where that door is. By looking at the shark's injuries, scientists think that orcas could have developed a specialized technique to induce tonic immobility, which minimizes the chances of being bitten. Think about what that means. They are not just flipping sharks. They are flipping sharks in a specific way, in a specific orientation, targeting a specific vulnerability, and doing it precisely enough to protect themselves from a set of jaws that can shear through bone. This is not instinct. You cannot be born knowing this. A male orca named Moctezuma, first sighted in 1992, participated in 3 of the 4 recorded predation events. This male orca may be the son of one of the matriarchs of the pod, and perhaps learned his shark-eating techniques from her. There is a theory here that is more unsettling than the kills themselves. Mothers and grandmothers are important in killer whale society. Scientists have found that not only are orcas one of the few species to live past menopause, but adult male orcas that still have living mothers survive better than those that lack them. Knowledge doesn't just pass down, it is actively maintained, curated, grandmother to daughter to son. A lineage of technique, refined across decades. Moctezuma did not invent liver extraction. He inherited it, and he has been perfecting it ever since. Moctezuma's pod frequents the waters off of Baja California and only hunts elasmobranchs, sharks, and rays. Marine biologist Eric Higuera has been following the pod for more than a decade and filming their behavior, and he's observed how the whales adapt their behavior to whatever species the group is targeting. Rays, bull sharks, stingrays, and whale sharks, the world's largest fish that can grow up to 18 meters in length. That last one deserves its own moment. The researchers' analysis revealed exactly how the killer whales subdue the whale shark. First, the orcas use their bodies to hit a whale shark at high speed. Then, they flip the whale shark so it's floating belly up and unable to dive down to escape. They also bite the whale sharks near their genitals, which causes them to bleed out before spiraling lifelessly into the abyss. An eyewitness who filmed one of these attacks described the moment an orca hit the bottom of the whale shark. They came in, they bit the bottom of the whale shark. Looks like they slurped in the liver, and then the whale shark just fell and descended down with no movement. The largest fish on Earth, gone in seconds. The same 50-year-old male named Moctezuma was present for 3 of the documented whale shark hunts. The events spanned the course of 6 years from 2018 to 2024. He was not always leading. Sometimes he was orchestrating. He's often joined by 4 or 5 female or juvenile whales, who, in one recorded instance, initiated an attack without him. He has taught them. They are carrying the technique forward. Now, here is where the picture gets darker. This is the first time we are seeing orcas repeatedly target juvenile white sharks, said one of the study authors. Adult white sharks react quickly to hunting orcas, completely evacuating their seasonal gathering areas and not returning for months. But these juvenile white sharks may be naive to orcas. We just don't know yet whether white shark anti-predator flight responses are instinctual or need to be learned. Read that again. We do not know if great white sharks are born knowing to flee orcas, or if they have to be taught. And if it has to be learned, then a juvenile that has never encountered Moctezuma's pod has no defense. None. It might be simpler to do this with smaller and therefore younger great white sharks, or less experienced juveniles might be easier prey. And climate is handing Moctezuma exactly that. Climate events like El Niño appear to have altered white shark nursery areas and increased their presence in the Gulf of California, which could mean that they are more exposed to this pod, and each new cohort of juveniles could be a vulnerable seasonal target. Every warm year, every shifted current, every juvenile white shark born into new waters is another opportunity. This may suggest that juvenile white sharks are becoming a regular seasonal prey target for orcas, which could represent a significant additional pressure on white shark populations. The apex predator of human nightmares, the animal that has defined ocean fear for generations, is being quietly, methodically hunted. Not by something bigger, by something smarter. It appears to be specific to certain orca groups that have learned this technique, and the impact depends on how frequently the behavior occurs in a given region. Once the technique exists in a group, it becomes part of their hunting culture. Culture, that is the word scientists use now, not behavior, not instinct, culture. The same word we use for language and music, and the things one generation passes to the next because they are worth keeping. Moctezuma's pod has a culture of killing the ocean's most feared predators and taking only what they need, leaving the rest behind like a signature. It's possible the Gulf of California orcas may form a new ecotype that specifically targets elasmobranchs, sharks, and rays. Moctezuma, who was first spotted in 1992, has been seen hunting other elasmobranch species such as the monk's pygmy devil ray, bull sharks, and stingrays. More research is needed to understand where this specialized pod fits into our knowledge of ecotypes, researchers say. A new kind of killer whale, defined not by where they live, but by what they have chosen to hunt, and how they choose to do it. I believe that orcas that eat elasmobranchs, sharks, and rays could eat a great white shark if they wanted to, anywhere they went looking for one, said the lead researcher on the study. Anywhere, any ocean, any shark. The footage that confirmed all of this, the drone video above La Paz, the aerial shots of 5 orcas working in silence, taking turns holding a great white on its back, was only possible because of recent technology. Researchers in both South Africa and Mexico agreed that the behavior is not likely new for orcas. Rather, it's new to scientists who can now witness and document these hunts more easily because of improvements in drone technology.